On at the Escalade IQ EVs here in New York, the big reveal. Mark Royce, president of GM, is joining me now to discuss. So Mark, the Cadillac Escalade franchise is a big one for a number of reasons. What are some of the key sort of features you need to kind of hit with this car, sort of make that mark?
I think it's become an icon since we introduced it, but we sold over 1 million units, which that's a big number for something like this. So it's been Cadillac's flagship until we announced we're doing Celestics. So we kind of have two flagships here, a sedan or sort of a low coupe, if you will, and then we have the Escalade Icon, now IQ, for the EV piece of it. So it's a big deal. This has always been a technological bed for us when we introduced it. You saw the first OLED curved screen on the last Escalade internal combustion engine version that we just saw. Here you're going to see a 55-inch screen that's pillar to pillar. So we do things like that. We also do a lot of things like Super Cruise that are sort of, we put it on Escalade, we put it in Cadillac. Cadillac's always going to lead with us as a brand too.
So, over 450 miles of range, the twin motor setup, like you said, that curved display all across the entire dash. This car is a little bit different than a traditional Escalade, but it kind of has to be, right?
It has to be because, if you look at this, we're not going to see people instantly buy, something that's different like an EV. And so this is plus business for us. We have a lot of demand for an Escalade or an SUV that is luxury, that is an EV. We know that. So the demand is here. We're going to be first in, again, with Escalade and the EV. That's important for us to be first. And so it is, but it's different than an ICE vehicle. So, we're going to do both. And here in New York, you see black Escalades all over the place.
Everywhere,
yeah. Everywhere on a fleet basis. And, that's big business for us, but it's also huge business for our fleet customers, and we love that. As we introduce an electric version of this, there'll be fleets that have zero emissions in mind. So there's going to be a good fleet business here too. So we'll see.
I've already seen some Lyric SUVs in the fleet livery business here in New York City, and you mentioned that's going to be a big business for you guys here. So that rollout for the Lyric, you guys took your time with it. You kind of a couple hundred here and there to sort of get that ramp just right. Are we going to see a similar type of ramp with Escalade next year when it comes out? I
think it'll be a little bit different. And the reason why I say that is because people forget that as we bring our assembly plants to build, Factory Zero is going to build this Escalade right in Detroit. As we bring those assembly plants online, we're also bringing on for the first time, our cell plants. So in Lordstown, Ohio is being brought on the same time we're bringing these vehicles online. So we're taking this a step at a time. Now that that's fully capacitized, we're going to move it into Spring Hill and start making cells there, and then Lansing, Michigan as well. So Tennessee, Lansing, and Ohio, we bring those on right as we do these vehicles. This will have a different ramp than Lyric did just because we're already starting production of the Silverado pickup truck in Factory Zero. So they both carry, the 12 mod packs. We've got some experience on it. So I think it's going to go a little bit different than Lyric was, and Lyric was really our first electric vehicle for Cadillac.
You mentioned those factories, Spring Hill for one. GM, the entire company, is going through a whole EV transformation. Yeah. From your sort of point of view, and you were sort of an architect for Cadillac's electrification plans, how is that transformation going on? How's that happening right now?
It's really, about, I want to say almost 5 years ago, we decided that we were really going to embrace this because the regulatory environment, but also the customer acceptance of EVs we saw was going to be very high. And a lot of people doubted that, but you can see it now. It's happening, right? And so you get people into an electric vehicle and they drive it. They're thrilled with it. The charging infrastructure is now coming, both from a federal standpoint, but also you see the alliance of the 7 companies installing our charging stations. You see adoption of some of our charging standards that were different than they are now today. So it's all happening. You see oil companies putting electric infrastructure in. So a lot of that's happening. We got to get the range right. We do with 450 here, 312 on the Lyric. Those are big numbers for people. And now they can say, okay, I can really see myself doing this every day and using this as my primary car. So it's going well.
Was that 450 number kind of big for current Escalade customers who really, I guess they want that range, huh?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the V, the V Escalade, it's right in the Yeah, they want that, but also they want the power. And this is, if you look at this is around 750 horsepower from a battery electric standpoint. So this is a really fast, fun car, and it's got a lot of range, so it's cool.
I drove that Escalade V, and let me tell you, it sounds like unlike anything I've ever driven before.
That's right.
I want to quickly mention real quick, Mark, while we have you. You mentioned Factory Zero, where this car is going to be made. GM, the big three, in talks with the UAW right now. Are you confident a good deal can kind of come out for both parties here?
I think that's, all I can say about that is that we are negotiating in true, trust and form to get an agreement for everybody that works for everybody, and that's in good faith.
So quickly pivoting, also one other thing that I think you and I are both fans are is racing. Cadillac almost wrapping with its LMDH, the endurance hypercar sort of season here, both in Europe and abroad. Great season so far, podium in Le Mans, I believe. So what's your sort of take on the racing program as an extension of the brand here for Cadillac as it goes in the future?
Well, I think, we started racing Cadillacs it's the 20th anniversary of the V Series this year, which is, it makes me feel old.
Right, that's right. Yeah.
But we raced in what was called the Speed World Challenge, and then we raced ATSs and then CTSs. But those were very important for people to think at that time, 20 years ago, differently about Cadillac.
Yeah, because you don't actually think about that, right?
No, you don't. So, but I think if you look at the V Series today, particularly the Black Wings, are noticed and commented on as the best sports sedans out there today. That's a big deal. And so that's a lot of hard work from a lot of our people, and it's a lot of recognition from the automotive community. So the power technology story for Cadillac will extend into electric vehicles as well. So look for performance variants of those too. And so that's part of the DNA. So, power, it's American brand, it's not a copy, it's American luxury. So it's a reflection of us as a country, and that's a really important part of the DNA of Cadillac.
Those hybrid motors, those V8s and those LMDH cars, I hope you guys can preserve that sound as long as possible. But I know the future's coming and EVs are here. Mark, thank you so much.
That's pretty cool. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
If you like this content and would like to see more, subscribe.